Welcome back to my kitchen. We are making 15-minute meals for spring today. It isn't actually sunny today and it isn't actually spring yet, but I want to get ahead of the game. We're moving into lighter days, longer days, flowers outside in the garden, the birds chirping, that lovely mild sort of smell in the countryside. I am so looking forward to that feeling, and I'm so looking forward to cooking spring fresh, delicious meals that I want to eat outside. So I'm going to share some recipes with you today that are really quick and easy and full of flavour, full of delicious healthy vegetables, lots of yummy things that you can enjoy in the spring months ahead. We are making Lemony Leek Orzo. This was one I shared on Instagram a while ago during my 30 days of vegan, but I actually haven't shared it here on YouTube. You can enjoy it with whatever vegetables are in season. You could have it in autumn, winter with different vegetables. Today we're using leeks and mushrooms, but also the recipe I say that you can use cherry tomatoes too. All of the recipes today are going to be written up in the description box down below. I'm in a bit of a transition phase with my website, so I'm not sure that they will be able to be live on my new website when this video goes live. However, when the recipes do go live on my new website, I will link them. So if you're watching this at a later date, there may well be a link down below, but go to the description box for all of the recipe information. Fingers crossed we'll have a new website soon so you can actually see the recipe written up properly. So let's get cooking. Start by chopping up your leeks. And my top tip for washing leeks, because they are notoriously muddy, is to slice them lengthways. Obviously some recipes it's nice, you want to have that kind of like ring shape, but I would rather not eat mud. So I slice them lengthways like so. Just taking off my Apple Watch because that's not a very good look, is it? And then all of the layers are free to get cleaned properly. And now these are all freshly washed. Let's slice them up. We're also going to use chestnut mushrooms. This is about a handful, maybe like 200 grams or so. But you can swap this for cherry tomatoes, courgettes, red peppers, whatever vegetable you prefer. And I'm just gonna roughly quarter these. I quite like with mushrooms to quarter some and slice others so that it's got a bit of variety. And though it's not sunny, there is a diffused light in here today from the clouds that enable me to cook on the aga today. So start with a large pan and some olive oil and add in your leek, along with 2 cloves of crushed or finely chopped garlic. I'm just using my, my garlic crusher. And it's gone all over. And saute this for about 10 minutes until everything is softened. Meanwhile, put your orzo on to cook in a large pot with some salt. Bring it to a boil. I'm using 350 grams of orzo and I'll let that cook for around 8 minutes. Then add in your mushrooms and let these reduce. It's been about 6 minutes of the orzo cooking, so in the last 2 minutes I'm going to pour in our peas, which is 75 grams, saves on washing up. Now we can drain our orzo and peas. And I also made sure to save some of that pasta water. Now everything's ready to mix together, so add your orzo and your peas, tin of drained cannellini or butter beans, tub of vegan creme fraiche, I'm using the Oatly brand, and the zest and juice of half a lemon. This just makes it so fresh. I'm obsessed with all things lemon. But if you've watched me for years, you probably know that by now. Get yourself one of these lemon squeezers, they're a life changer. Add in your saved pasta water, a nice drizzle of olive oil, a pinch of chili flakes, and then season. And that is it. Mix it all together and it's ready to be served up. don't forget to add some fresh basil. Feel free to drizzle a little olive oil on top and some extra lemon zest. You can also top this with vegan Parmesan if you have that. That is a really delicious addition. I love the Violife Parmesan style cheese. So here we have our delicious plate of spring orzo. I just wish you could smell this. I say this every time, but it would make such a difference. It's so lemony and fresh. And if you haven't had orzo before, please give it a try, because there's something about the texture of it that is really like slippery. If you're using things like olive oil and vegan creme fraiche, the sauce basically just slips all over the orzo, which is such a nice, it's just a lovely texture to enjoy. Slipping is not the right word, it's a bit gross word, but that's the best word I can think. It's just gliding in your mouth. It's so delicious. Cannellini beans add that fullness and that protein and all that extra goodness. And if you don't have vegan creme fraiche, or you don't have Oatly where you are, then you can use unsweetened soy yogurt. That's probably my best bet for the one that's the least flavoursome, or a vegan cream cheese if you can find one of those. Or you can leave it out entirely and just opt for the olive oil, just add extra olive oil in there, and it will still taste really, really delicious. It will just be slightly more simple in flavour. Highly, highly recommend, and it was rapid. For this recipe, we are making a easy courgette salad. It's got some ribboned courgettes, some peas, a delicious dressing that you can use for other recipes, but it just works perfectly as an accompaniment to another meal, as a part of a lovely sort of al fresco spread, or as just a really light meal. Quite honestly, I could eat this whole bowl. I love courgettes, and it's coming into courgette season, so let's get making this. It takes less than 15 minutes realistically, because there is no cooking involved. It is just prepping together a salad. So let's make this delicious courgette salad. Salad, salad, salad. We're starting with 2 courgettes. I'm just gonna top and tail them, and then we're gonna make them into ribbons. You can do this with a Madeleine, or you can do it just with a vegetable peeler, and you just wanna make nice ribbons. Add your courgette ribbons to a bowl, and we're just gonna do our other ingredients. So an apple, and add these in with your courgette. And then I'm gonna chop up this chilli ready for the dressing, along with 200 grams of peas. You can use fresh peas, but to be honest, most of us have frozen peas, and just defrost it by running it under lukewarm to cold water, and it should defrost the peas. And then we're just gonna mix this up. Probably not the right shaped bowl. For our dressing, we're mixing 4 tablespoons of cider vinegar, tablespoon of soy sauce, 100 ml of olive oil, tablespoon of maple syrup for some sweetness, 1 small garlic clove finely chopped or crushed, half of a red chilli that we've just chopped up, the zest and juice of half a lemon. Getting very lemony with these spring recipes, but I just feel like it fits this time of year, brings out the freshness and everything. Definitely if you're zesting lemons, try and opt for organic lemons, because you're using the skin, and especially ones that aren't waxed. Gosh, it smells like I'm making a cocktail. And finally, some mint, just about a handful, finely chopped, or roughly chopped really, it doesn't matter that much. And then whisk this all together. And you can even make a larger batch of this so that you can store it in your fridge and have your own homemade dressing. And when you do that whisking, it should emulsify and sort of all come together. So I forgot to add pecans. I'm doing about 50 grams. You can just roughly break them in, and you can use any nuts. If you're making this as a recipe on a different occasion, you can change it up, use walnuts, use almonds, just for that crunch and that extra fat and protein. And I like to save a couple for the top, and I'm also going to season I've probably done the wrong bowl, but it's just so pretty. I could not resist. I'm gonna change bowls so that you can see all the lovely ingredients. So if you're making this, opt for a shallow bowl because I think it makes for a much prettier presentation. See, look at that. So you can see your courgette ribbons and your peas. And now we can drizzle our dressing on top. Use as little or as much as you like. Add on those extra little pecans for that delicious colour. And then an optional addition is some vegan feta. This is the Violife Greek White Block. Fun kind of feta-y topping, which just adds to the salad. And like, how perfect is this on a spring day? If you're having people round, if it's a sunny day, if you want to have lunch outside, or you can make this in advance and have it as a delicious lunch for a few days. It's just, oh, look at it. So full of flavour. That is plant-based heaven. This is like the dream salad. And you don't have to use all the dressing. It definitely makes enough for you to use it again for another recipe because this is very dressed, I'm realising. Why am I blowing on it? It's cold. Quite honestly, I could eat this whole bowl. I might end up with a bit of stomachache from the amount of fibre though. Oh my gosh, that's so good. So when I think of spring, I think of more time spent outdoors, I think of longer days, I think of flowers, and I also think that barbecue season is on its way. So I wanted to share with you a delicious butterbean burger recipe. You could eat this inside on a rainy day and you can have it outdoors when the sun starts to shine. So it's really easy. It's got butter beans, of course, some breadcrumbs, a harissa paste for some extra spice, and lots of delicious spices. So it's very easy to whip together a bean burger. I know that bean burgers seem like kind of like a boring thing, I guess. I don't know, I feel like it's one of those things that people are thinking, oh, you're vegan, so you're gonna have a bean burger. But bean burgers are delicious. They're full of fiber, they're full of so many good nutrients. I'm gonna share with you how to make it. It's very, very, very simple. So for our burgers, we'll start with a tin of butter beans, and I've drained these and given them a thorough rinse. A clove of garlic, the zest of a lime, or you can use a lemon. Tablespoon of harissa paste. I just love the taste of harissa so much. Now we'll add some spices, starting with half a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of turmeric, a tablespoon of corn flour. This is going to help everything to thicken up, and a tablespoon of mango chutney, just for something a little different. You can use other kinds of chutney if you like for a different flavour. And then give this a season. And then mash all of these ingredients together. You could also just do this in a food processor, but I wanted to show you that you don't need one. And now you can shape this into 4 burgers. If you want to batch make these, then just double up the recipe and then you can always freeze some, so you have 8 burgers. And then we'll coat them in breadcrumbs and fry them up. Or you can bake them. I always, whenever I'm making burgers or meatballs or anything that I have to divide up, I'll try and make it all into one big mound. What's the word I'm looking for? Make it all together and then kind of cut it up so that it's relatively even. It just makes your life a little bit easier. You don't end up with your last burger being tiny compared to the rest because you've not quite divided it properly. So just make balls like so, and then you can just sort of squish them and shape them. They smell so delicious. So now get 2 bowls, one with some breadcrumbs. I've just made these from the ends of one of Alex's loaves of bread. I definitely recommend to save any ends of bread. You can pop it in the freezer and then blend it up into really delicious breadcrumbs. And then in the other bowl, just some flour. You can also put these in the fridge or the freezer just to harden them up a bit before you get going, but to be honest, I just can't be bothered and I never can, so I'm gonna do it how I would honestly do it. So just coat it in some flour. Forgot about the milk, so do your flour and then into your breadcrumbs and set that aside. So dusting of flour, some non-dairy milk, and then some breadcrumbs. And you can try and be neater than me and do a wet hand and a dry hand, but we're only doing 4 burgers, so I tend to not worry too much. Now we're going to cook them. So I'm going to put some oil in a pan. You can also bake these in the oven. Lots of people ask me this if I ever fry things. Bake this in the oven and it probably will work fine in an air fryer. I don't have an air fryer, so I can't guarantee, but you can do it either way. So let's assemble our burgers. Alex made these absolutely gorgeous homemade rolls yesterday. We were talking about it, and if you would be interested in us making a bread ebook, please let us know, because I know that people are going to ask for this recipe, or if you want us to make a specific bread video, we can do that for you. So let's start with our nice bread roll. I'm going to put down a nice big piece of lettuce first, and then a little burger sauce I've just whipped together quickly. This is literally just ketchup, vegan mayo and mustard. Layer on our burger, a tomato, a couple rings of red onion. What would actually be really good is if you put some raita on here, and I do have a recipe I think for that on my website, so I will link it. And if it's not live yet, then it will be live soon. And then for something a little extra, some extra mango chutney on top, just to match the chutney in the burger. Pop the lid on. Got yourself a delicious bean burger. So time for a taste test. I've lured Alex in for this one. Beautiful platter of burgers. This reminds me of Beethoven when they get given those platter of burgers and he does the competition, the food competition of eating as many burgers as possible. Go! That one is the really juicy one. You're going to get it over your trousers. Here you go, you can have that one. I'm going to get, okay. Oh my gosh, I love the flavour of that so much.
It's gone all over my face.
Yeah. The flavour of it is so like, I'm getting like Indian, but also Moroccan. Delicious.
What are the
Well, it's harissa that you can taste, but also mango chutney.
Was it harissa? Mayo?
And then it's got turmeric. Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. Yeah, Alex has just come up with a new thing. You could make your burger sauce with harissa in it.
Okay. But there's harissa in the
burger, but I made the burger sauce just the standard way, mayo, ketchup, mustard. But that's a really good idea. Swap out the ketchup for harissa if you like a really spicy burger. But that's so yummy because it's so full of flavour. And I think this is a misconception with bean burgers, that they just have to literally be just beans. You can really experiment with delicious flavours.
It's a nice warmth to it. Did you make chips?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Just 4 burgers.
Yes, that'll be fine. That'll do. Well, excellent buns.
They made it even better, the delicious homemade buns. But like, if you got served that in like a vegan cafe, wouldn't you be happy? And this is where you can tragically see me clipping on my microphone, but not switching it on. So in lieu of a functioning microphone, I will dub this. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, share the video. And if you recreate any of these recipes, then definitely tag me and check the description box for all the recipes. And fingers crossed, we'll have a new website for you soon. I hope you enjoyed everything and I'll see you in the next one. My throat.